What is up? I can't do that.
Just do it. Just do it.
No, that's like part of it though. It's gonna be like, like jump in. Wait. Just keep rolling. What's up, guys? I don't know if this intro is gonna work. I'm gonna show you guys around. I'm living in my truck. I did this on purpose, so I'm not like homeless. But I moved out of my apartment. I'm living in it now. I'll explain why. I've gotten a lot of questions about it because for anybody who follows me on Instagram, whoa, you're getting a little closer with the camera. For anybody who follows me on Instagram, you guys probably might have seen a little bit where I said I was moving into my truck. So I'll explain why and everything else in between, and then I'll give you guys a tour and show you around a little bit and kind of my entire setup, what's going on here. But yeah, I've been doing this for about 3 weeks now. And the build didn't take terribly long, kind of rushed it to be honest. So I'll explain the build too, but yeah, let's get into this. Okay, so yeah, the biggest question, why the hell would I leave my apartment and move into my truck? So contrary to what people might think, it has nothing to do with money. I mean, it does save me a lot of money living in my truck versus in my apartment. But it was more so, I was just thinking about over the past 4 years, I probably spent like $40,000 on my apartments over those 4 years, which I don't mind. Everybody needs a place to live. But then when I looked at where my time was actually being spent, I think probably I was spending 1 to 2 weeks per month in my apartments, and the other 2 to 3 weeks per month on average were being spent somewhere else in the world. So when I looked at it that way, it just kind of made sense. Why don't I just move into my truck, at least for the summer? Not like I'm gonna be doing this when I'm 30 years old. I'm 22, so I figure why not do this now? Have the ability to roam around, and right now I'm up in the Rocky Mountains. I'm in Colorado. I think this weekend I'm gonna go to Utah, to the desert, and then from there I really have no idea. But I just wanted that ability to move around a bit, and so I was gonna put a desk in here. It's a little bit tricky to do that, and I had my iMac in here for a minute, but it started to fall over, and I didn't want that liability of having like a $5,000 computer in the back of a truck. So let me show you a little bit what's going on here. So the basics here, this is just a junk bin. This already looks pretty bad, but whatever, just ignore that. In here, this cabinet I built here is pretty simple. Shout out to my dad for letting me use his tools and helping me with this because I don't have any tools right now. But yeah, in here, I just store a lot of kitchen stuff. I have my food back in there. Like I said, I've been doing this for about 3 weeks, and I think probably I'll be on the road at least for the rest of summer. But I kind of wanted to just use my truck as my home base instead of having an apartment as a home base. Because I travel so much, it just made sense. Okay, so yeah, so this floor is just a piece of plywood, and then I put some nice flooring, like just some whatever vinyl stuff on it. For 3 pieces of plywood, it was like $250 for 3 pieces of plywood because lumber prices or inflation or whatever they say, supply problems. The mattress, it's only 4 inches thick, but it's honestly perfect. It's like the perfect firmness. Yeah, I don't know. But I made it 7 feet long because I guess I'm a little tall. So, but it fits pretty well like this. I guess my feet look like they're hanging over, but I have so many pillows up here. So that's kind of why it's looking a little short there. I'm also out of breath because we're at, I don't know, at least 11 or 12,000 feet, I think, right? So there's not really any oxygen up here, but working on, I look like I'm falling apart here. But yeah, there's not really much oxygen up here. So it's always a struggle trying to use your brain to compute things with minimal oxygen. So whenever I have to think, I might go down a few thousand feet. Yeah, so actually here, why don't you hop in here and I'll show you the cabinets and everything. So I have just built like a really basic, this doesn't look really amazing, but just put a basic latch on there and cut it out with a Sawzall. So something really basic there. This just looks like junk. Some food. You gotta get your nutrients and stuff, But then I have this little light here because it's all connected to this battery back here, which is a 500-watt Jackery battery. A little bit pricey. This thing was like $500, but it's 500 watts. It has really great ports. It's super easy to connect to. I have a solar panel for it, so I just hook all that up. So when I'm in the desert, I don't have to worry about, how am I going to get electricity to charge my phone and my laptop. I actually have a lawn chair that's sitting out there that I just set up in here, and I can just work from my laptop like that. And it's a pretty simple setup using that. Let's see. Just have, you never know when you're going to get like attacked or something, so gotta have something there, I guess. I also have that axe over there, just in case, because this doesn't really lock from the inside, so I'm kind of just rolling the dice there at night, but I think it's fine. I mean, nothing's happened yet, so it's also underneath this, I actually have, this is probably a really poor design that I made, but I have something underneath this that I have to lift up the mattress, and this entire board lifts up, and I have tons of storage down here. So that's the basics of this. I also just put up some basic lights, all of which is obviously charged or runs off of this battery here, this Jackery battery, which these lights only pull like 5 watts, so it's really, nothing much at all. And then I put these curtains in here. So these curtains, shout out to my mom for helping me with this, because I probably wouldn't have put this much effort into putting up curtains here. But this is really great for if you're sleeping somewhere where, you want some privacy or you want some, darkness. So I have all these that I can just untie, and they all come down, so it can be completely dark in here at night. For ventilation, I'll just use these windows here. These side windows open up pretty nicely. I know a lot of people put in like drawers and sliding drawers and everything, and they make it way fancier, and they paint everything or they stain the wood. So I'll probably do that for next year, or we'll call next season, for next summer. My plan right now is, I bought this truck. Trucks last a really long time. They don't really devalue a lot. I mean, compared to something like, if you buy a Maserati or something, you're going to lose like $50,000 in a couple of years. But a truck like this, I mean, hopefully I'll have it for the next 10 years or so at least. I bought it used for like $19,000. So it should last a pretty long time. But yeah, here's the plan. I basically want to just use this as like a camper, a thing that I can use to get away, to go on vacations. It's honestly, it is going to save me a lot of money, but that's not the primary reason why I chose to start living in my truck. Because, to be honest, like I could certainly afford to stay in an apartment. I could pay for an apartment, and I could have this, and it would still be okay. I would still be all right financially, but I just don't really see the need for it. So in terms of where I put my stuff, luckily my brother just bought a house, so I was able to drop off a lot of my stuff there with him, and he didn't mind, so I didn't have to get a storage unit. I probably would have done that though if I didn't have that ability to drop off my couch and my bed and my other stuff from my apartment. Oh, I also have this boosted board, which is pretty sick, to be honest. Even though the company went out of business, it's pretty great to just rip this around on the roads. So I'm up, where are we? So we're at Mount Elbert, I think. And so I just ripped this up the pass because why not? All right, so that's the quick little rundown. I definitely left out a bunch of things, so maybe ask some of your questions down below, and perhaps in a couple of weeks or maybe in a month, I'll make an update video, answer some of those questions, maybe if you're interested in how much it costs and all the expenses that I might have with this, and give you an exact breakdown on it. We could do that. But I want to keep this video relatively short, so thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and I'll see everybody maybe in a month, maybe 2, who knows.